about to go down.
Burning your ears with another all-killer and no-filler episode of the best motorsports radio on the planet. It's the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. With your host, Jim Beaver.
Sliding trophy trucks, jumping razors, and dropping the mic at events across the country.
Amy Hood.
What's up, guys? I'm a professional fun haver, dirt bike rider, and monster truck driver.
With support from Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, and Dirtfish. Hang on tight, strap in, and get ready to smoke some tires and lay some roost. Here's the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other. Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of whatever the hell this show is. That is the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in. Just a disclaimer for the day. If you do not like Baja, then what do they say, GTFO? That is right. You probably want to tune out right now because we're going to be talking a lot of Baja today. That is right. The biggest, baddest off-road race on the planet just went down this past weekend. I am an off-road guy. I'm an off-road racer. You can bet your ass we are talking Baja this week, and that means we got to have the winners on air, right? Or at least one of them. Yes, that is right. Mr. Cameron Steele, DAPAB, Mr. Desert Assassins. He is going to be on the line talking about his big W. Finally, he got the monkey off his back, got that big Baja 1000 four-wheel overall victory, and we will be talking to Mr. Cameron Steele today right here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. So amped about that. Not only that, we're just going to dissect Baja. There was so many storylines that happened this weekend. I don't even know where to start, so we're going to get into it in the first segment. It's going to take a couple of seconds. So I'll also have Chris Leone. He's going to call in. I don't know what we're going to talk about with Chris, but we'll figure something out. And then we, to cap the show off today, my good friend David Ankin with ToyMakerz. You know, that TV show where they create all these rad toys, big horsepower toys. That is right. We're going to have David calling into the show talking about the upcoming season of ToyMakerz. So definitely looking forward to that as well. Slam Pack Show. If you got any questions for me or any of our guests, hit me up at JimBeaver15 on Twitter, and we will be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by, you guessed it, Polaris Razor. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
All right, welcome back here to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer, no filler edition. Anyways, man, I'm getting adjusted here behind the microphone. I guess that means we're probably getting ready to do a rad segment or something. I don't know. I have no idea. My back's been out for like a week, so finally starting to get better. Good news, because it is Thanksgiving weekend, and what does that mean? Well, if you are me, that means razors and the desert. That is right. 4-day weekend. Means you're going out shredding the dunes, shredding the desert, campfires, beer, and a whole lot of good times. So, yes, that is happening for me this weekend, which means the Baja 1000 has officially wrapped up, and we have crowned some champions. And I have to tell you guys, Baja this year was probably one of the most bananas Baja 1000s I think that I have ever seen or heard about. I don't even know where to start other than we got so many stories here. First off, gosh, I'm looking at this deal, and we've got like 7 talking points for the Baja 1000, and it's like, where do you start? You know, and you've got the results, and I guess the big one, we've got to give a shout out to my boy Cameron Steele. He put it all together. He won the Baja 1000 overall in the four-wheel vehicles. Big shout out to the 7X of Justin Morgan, who actually took the overall win by a little less than a minute. Looks like about 50 seconds, something like that. So, you know, motorcycles back on top. They took the four-wheel or the overall victory. Four-wheel overall victory went to Mr. Cameron Steele. And finally, you know, he's been so close so many years. I'm really excited to talk to him when he calls in here later on in hour number 1. You had Andy McMillan, who finished in second. Andy, I mean, this guy is just... If you're going to go into any major off-road race, the safe money is just to put your bet on Andy McMillan. It's like betting on the New England Patriots, right? You know, 7 out of 10 times you're going to be right. I feel like it's that way with Andy McMillan. And then you got Rob McCachran as well, who was in there. He finished up in 4th. Dan McMillan, overall, 3rd in class. So Rob did take a podium. Then you got Dan, Mr. 4th place, McMillan, finish up 4th in Trophy Truck, 5th overall. And then you had Menzies, Kevin Thompson, Shane Esposito on a dirt bike, Alan Impudia, great run by him, local there to Ensenada, and Zach Langley. My buddy Robbie Pierce finishing up there, 9th in Trophy Truck, 11th overall. But we got to go back here and talk. You know, we're going to talk about Cameron Steele here in a minute. We'll talk about Andy McMillan, Rob McCachran, big storyline. I've got to mention, though, Dan McMillan in 4th place. This is, if you're in the off-road circle or the off-road industry, and we talk a lot of motorsports on this show. It started out as an off-road only show, so we have a ton of off-road listeners. If you're one of our guys, you know, I don't want to say guys or ladies that tune in, you know, for some of the other content, today is probably not your day. So we're going to dive really deep into this off-road rabbit hole today. But Dan McMillan, you know, he comes from the McMillan family. His dad, Mark, just got inducted in the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame. You know, their family, Andy is his cousin, Luke's his brother. Just an amazing family. Lineage in desert racing is just so deep. So Dan, it's been the long ongoing joke, you know, that he always finishes 4th place. It's the truth. The guy, for some odd reason, you go to Baja, the 500, the 1,000, like he finishes fourth place. There's something about it, like he just can't get on the podium. And it's become the ongoing joke, fourth place, Dan, and we ought to add a podium spot, for fourth place. But I do want to mention, though, I mean, it's the joke that he never gets on the podium and he gets fourth place. Finishing fourth place in Trophy Truck is no easy feat. And it's a joke, and I know Dan was even joking about it on Instagram, put up a post, another fourth place finish. But to put that into perspective, I mean, if you were to consistently finish fourth place at the Indy 500 or fourth place at the Daytona 500 or in any NASCAR, IndyCar race or anything like that, that's legit. And he's racing against 40, 50 of the best off-road race drivers in the world, and he's consistently finishing in fourth place. That's not a knock on Dan. I mean, he could definitely win. Obviously, there's something that happens here or there, but like I responded to his Instagram comment, and I said, dude, you keep rolling with those fourth place finishes. Like, if you were to average, everybody's, finishing rate over the past, 5 years, I would say his fourth place average is probably puts him as the top trophy truck driver in the world. Like, no joke. Andy would probably be in there. Rob Mack's going to be in the mix as well, but literally, no joke, Dan McMillan finishing fourth place. So I just had to give a big shout out to him. He's been a guest on the show in the past as well. His brother Luke, I think, has been on here. Andy been on here. Mark was on here recently. That was a really good interview. You should go back and listen to that if you didn't already. But so Dan, fourth place McMillan, yes. So I guess we've got to just jump into these storylines, right? I mean, that's the big one, and this caught mainstream attention. I didn't share it on social media because I thought it was detrimental to the sport. I wish other people would have taken the same stance. But Alexander Rossi, he started. And I'm sure by now Jalopnik picked it up. I mean, it was on the front page of MSN. But anyways, Alexander Rossi, he was in the factory Honda Ridgeline. He was going through Ojos, known section, known to have traffic, and this is a lot of this is Score's fault, and the powers that be there in Mexico, and let's put it this way, the Mexican citizens. But he's going through these rollers and they're blind, and you're jumping, and there was a car, oncoming traffic coming at him. He couldn't see him, and he jumped and literally grazed. His truck hit the mirror, like his tires. He almost jumped over the car, but hit the mirror on the oncoming SUV's side mirror. It was just crazy. Blew it off. Anyways, it was one of those things where it could have been catastrophic. You could have had the Indy 500, winner killed. You could have had a carload of people killed. It was really bad, but it didn't end up bad at all. Nobody was hurt other than a mirror got, clipped off of a car. But we're talking, Rossi was going 100 miles an hour at that point, and this car was, idling by. It was stupid. Not on Rossi's part. He did absolutely nothing wrong. But everybody wants to say it's better in Baja. It's better in Baja. You know what? I love Baja, but there's things I don't like about Baja. Traffic, and people go, oh, well, that's just part of racing with Baja. No, it's not. That is wrong. We shouldn't be running a professional off-road race as big as the Baja 1000 with live traffic on the course. Period. Sorry. Done. Unless you've got speed limits like we do on the highway sections, then I'm fine. I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? Run those sections and just put a speed limit. I think it's 37 miles an hour, something like that they have. But this is just stupid. We've got to do better. I mean, can you imagine, and this is a factory program, could you imagine, and it wouldn't have been his fault, but if Rossi would have, killed somebody, it would have been it would have been headline news on every newspaper, on every lead news media outlet in the country, and not for a good reason. Can you imagine that? Alexander Rossi and Honda, kill a carload of SUV, carload of people or something. Like, that's how factory programs end. That's how our sport ends. This isn't funny, people. Like, seriously, we have to do better. Score, if you listen to this, Roger Norman, you got to do better. You know what? People of off-road, we have to do better. We have to police ourselves. People in Mexico, you need to police yourselves. Seriously, this isn't funny. These are lives on the line. Your lives, our lives, and if he would have crashed, it would have taken out hundreds of other people. We have to do better. This isn't funny. This isn't how many views we can get from this clip. Know that we were very lucky. Alexander Rossi was very lucky, and it wasn't his fault. He was just being a race car driver, just like I would have done, just like Rob Mack, Bryce Menzies, any of us would have done, and most of us have done, right? But we should be able to race and not have to fear for our lives. I mean, we're threading the needle anyways. We shouldn't have to add in live traffic to the mix. That's just crap. So I'm just saying, if you're out there and you're sharing this video, no, that isn't helping the sport. We need to do better. We need to police ourselves, and that is just the way it needs to be. This isn't about, everybody says, oh, Baja, that's just it. It's, it's the death race. It's this and that. It's about the adrenaline because you could, like, seriously, we know we could die, right? Like, let's take a little bit of the risk factor out. It's not like the risk factor is going to go away. We're driving 900 horsepower trucks at 140 miles an hour across the desert. Like, that's risky. Why add in something stupid like live traffic? We got to do better. We've got to put a stop to it, or people will die, and I hate that idea. That's horrible. People should never, and I'm talking about civilians, race car drivers, anything. Nobody should ever die in a professional off-road race, ever. And you know what? It's going to happen because of what we do, but it shouldn't happen for stupid reasons. I mean, it just, to me, we're even having this conversation is idiotic. So that is my stance on this thing. We're going to talk more Baja, but man, please quit sharing that stupid video. It's gone viral enough, and it's just dumb. You're not helping anything. Anyway, we'll be back. We're talking more Baja here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, when we return. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more. Anywhere is possible. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire's wide variety of tires for whatever it is that you drive. Whether you're looking for off-road capability balanced with impressive on-road performance, or ultra-high performance offering all-season traction designed with a driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has what you need to get where you're going. General Tire, providing anywhere is possible with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Talking a little Baja 1000 here today. Just got doing a little bit of a rant there. We'll liven things up a bit here. But before we get to that, you know what? I got to tell you about one of our partners here in the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and it's our friends at GoParts.com. And I got to tell you, I am saving a ton of money on my auto parts, and believe me, I go through a lot of auto parts. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jim, they're online. How's the customer service? Well, I had the same concerns until I use them. Believe me when I tell you, service is second to none. In fact, 9 out of 10 of their customers said they would not only use GoParts again, they'd also recommend GoParts to their friends and family. Look, they've been around for more than a decade. They know what they're doing. That is right. They do know what they're doing. And you know what? They're teaming up with me, and they're going to give you guys a special offer. All you have to do is go to goparts.com/Jim Beaver. That's go-parts.com. You know, got to get that dash in there. Go-parts.com/Jim Beaver. You are going to get a nice percentage off of your order of your parts. And they've been my go-to. I just bought a Mini Cooper about a month ago. It was actually an 07 Mini Cooper Turbo. And I'm, kind of fixing it up, but I needed a bunch of parts. Boom, instantly went to Go Parts. A couple days later, parts arrived at my front door. Got the thing up and running, and she's a shredder, let me tell you. So, yeah, definitely check them out. Go-parts.com/Jim Beaver. All right, so back to talking some Baja. We got to talk, first off, man, there's so much shenanigans. I got to give a shout-out to my boy Wayne Matlock, my teammate over there at Polaris Razor. Not only was he the first ever score season overall points champion, obviously he was the UTV champion, but overall for all the classes, they have this special award. He gathered the most points, so Wayne Matlock, first ever UTV overall winner of the score points. Shout-out to him. But he won the Baja 1000 in UTV, but what I have to tell you is I'm looking down here, and I don't think you guys realize. So he finished 30th overall, including bikes. Let's throw the motorcycles out of the equation. Just talking four-wheel vehicles. 23rd overall in a Polaris Razor. Now, you people out there that are calling them golf carts and this and that, like straight up, he would. Let's look at this. If he was racing his UTV and trophy truck, he would have finished 16th. Not bad, right? 40, 50 trucks entered. But he would have finished 16th in trophy truck. If he would have been running in Class 1, unlimited buggies, which technically that Razor could fit in that class, and Class 1s are like the trophy truck counterpart, he would have finished second in Class 1. Crazy. Now, trophy truck spec. We got to look at not mini trophy trucks, but basically, trophy trucks with a spec engine, right? So if he would have been running in trophy truck spec, hold on, I'm flipping through my results here. Hate how this website works. It's a pain in the rear to go through. So if he would have been in trophy truck spec, let's see, trophy truck spec, he would have finished fourth. He would have been fourth in trophy truck spec. If he would have been running in Class 10, he would have been first. First in Class 10, second in Class 1, fourth in trophy truck spec, like 16th in trophy truck. That's just crazy. Wayne Matlock was on, and it wasn't just Wayne. Everybody let's go, oh, he had a good run. No, look at this. You go down there and second place. Who was second place in UTV? I should know this, right? This is a fail on my part here. Second place, Derek Murray. Third place, Reese Millen. And they were all, top 30, top 40 overall, including bikes. So it wasn't just Wayne. There was a couple of them in there. But UTVs are getting fast, man. You guys that are making fun of them, I'm telling you, bang for the buck. It don't get any better than a Polaris Razor. And Wayne Matlock, dude, you are an animal, brother. We are going to definitely get Wayne on the show at some point very soon. I want to talk about the power couple, Wayne and Kristen Matlock. Kristen, what was it? I can't remember. She's the overall races in her, and she's in a non-turbo car. Overall, beat all the pro turbo cars at races this year. You got Wayne, who's just destroying everybody. Like, just bananas, man. Those two are on rails right now. So, big shout out to my boy Wayne Matlock and Polaris Razor on that big W there in Baja. So, moving on. We got a ton of storylines here. So, got a couple we're going to talk about Rob Mack and Ryan Arciero. So Rob Mack arguably actually won the Baja 1000. He got a penalty. And, and the thing with Rob Mack is he's a fan favorite. Everybody in Mexico loves him. Everybody in the States loves him. Rob's a good friend of mine. He is the living legend, Rob McCackern. Love interviewing the guy. We just did it recently. You can go back. It's a great interview prior to the Baja 1000. Rob is like the sacred cow. You just don't talk about him. You don't touch him. Rob can do no wrong. He never flips. He never makes a mistake. He's a robot, right? Well, Rob did something that could be considered questionable. Obviously, Score thought it was questionable because they penalized him 15 minutes and it cost him the win. So there's video floating around the internet. So there's speed limits, like we talked about, 37 miles an hour on the highway. Rob was in the pit, Ryan Arciero, another good friend of mine. And we're talking about two guys that I consider legends of the sport. One's a Hall of Famer, one's a future Hall of Famer. And these guys have been around, and they know they're very much the most utmost professionals, right? So Rob's pitted, and Ryan Arciero goes by on the highway, just a normal thing, right? You get passed when you're in the pits, just like NASCAR. Guys are in the pits, guys pass them in the pits. No big deal, right? So Rob pulls back out on the highway. Somehow he's able to run down Arciero. He must have been speeding because Ryan, I'm assuming, was going the speed limit of 37 miles an hour. Rob pulls up next to Ryan and into oncoming traffic. There was no oncoming traffic, but in that lane of traffic, and pulls up right next to Ryan. And it happens at the end of the highway, you go left off of the dirt. So Rob, for like a mile, drives next to Ryan Arciero. He must have sped to catch up. And there's no passing on the highway. So he never actually completed the pass on the highway. And then when they dove into the dirt, Rob stomped on the gas because he had the inside lane now because he was in oncoming traffic and basically roosted Ryan and stole the position away. Now, a lot of people are going, oh, Rob, he was just a wily veteran. It was a good move. I'm here to tell you I'm siding with Ryan Arciero on this one. Love you, Rob Mack. You're my boy. But I just got to say, Ryan Arciero, dude, I'm siding with you on this one. I think it was a bad move on Rob's part. Everybody that's bashing Score, I'm just going to say that I stand by Score's decision on this one. I'm all about taking chances, pushing the limits. And I think Rob just pushed it a little too far there. I think he saw a gray area and, where he thought he was going to be able to get away with it. And he's smart, man. Rob knows how to win races, right? But I just think that I think this one he may have pushed it just a hair too far. So I got to side with Ryan Arciero. That video is floating around the internet as well. Really, really easy to find that one, but worth looking at. All these videos, I'll get them posted up somewhere, maybe in our Facebook group, Action Motorsports Discussion. So then we've got Bryce Menzies. A couple of incidents in Bryce. This one wasn't anybody's fault. Just a lot of people were wondering protocol. So Robbie Gordon leading Bryce Menzies. Bryce Menzies has the all-wheel drive truck. Robbie's got his two-wheel drive truck. They dive into the dirt off a highway section, right? And Bryce catches Robbie because he got the all-wheel drive. He's able to put the power down a little bit quicker and hits the back of Robbie Gordon, which Rubbin's racing in off-road, right? We bump and hit each other all the time. My thought has always been if you catch someone and if you want to get around me and I'm racing, you got to hit me. If you hit me, it's kind of like playing a game of tag, right? If you tag somebody, you're it. In off-road, if you can catch them and hit them, you earn the position, and they should pull over, right? So that's always been my stance on things. A lot of people go, oh, well, Bryce had all-wheel drive, and it's another one of those things where everybody's Robbie Gordon fans, right? So you're going to side with him. Robbie, you're my boy. I'm siding with Bryce on this one. If you catch somebody and you hit them for whatever reason, you pull over and give them the position. You were caught, tag, you're it. You know what I mean? That's just the way it works in off-road. Bryce hit you. Robbie should have pulled over, ceded the position to Bryce. Now, Robbie's Robbie, and he ain't going to pull over for nobody. You're going to have to crash him to get him to pull over. But I'm just saying, I think there's an unwritten etiquette rule in off-road. It's not, nobody broke any rules, but Robbie ain't going to pull over for nobody. He's going to make you go around him. But he wanted that clean air. But just saying, I've always behind the wheel. If you want my position, I ain't pulling over for you. I don't care about your horn. You want it, hit me. And if you hit me, I will pull over and I'll cede the position. And you only have to hit me once and I will pull over. But I'm just saying, you want it bad enough, come get it. That's just the way it works in my world. Not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong, but that's just the way I've always done things. And then Bryce Menzies, I'm siding with Bryce again on this one. They got big speed limit coming into the finish line there in Ensenada, and then like 200 yards before the finish, they open it up to racing, and there's like a right-hand corner. So Bryce, he's got his truck, and he comes into the finish, and all of a sudden after 15 minutes of having a speed zone, you can open up your truck wide open speed. And so Bryce did that and got a little loose, and they had these chintzy little fences, like these, I don't even know what you want to call them, these little fences. They weren't K-rails, they weren't water barriers. Bryce clipped one and then went into the finish. He didn't spin out. He just got a little wide. You know what I mean? Things happen in racing, right? And Score penalized him like a massive penalty over that. I think it was Score's fault. Score should have had, one, it should have been a speed limit right there, but two, they should have had proper barricades. He didn't hurt anybody. He didn't do anything. It wasn't on purpose. It wasn't malicious. It was a crap call on Score's part. So, yes, that is my decision on that. I'm rolling with Bryce Menzies. But anyways, we got to take a short break, and we're going to get to some good stuff here. Rob Mack. Yes, not Rob Mack. Cameron Steele, excuse me. We talked so much Rob Mack, I got the wrong guy. Cameron Steele, he's on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, when we return after this short break. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire. General Tire's Grabber X3 mud terrain tire offers aggressive styling and is engineered for durability with innovative performance features that are ready to carry you through extreme mud, dirt, and rock-covered terrain. For extreme traction that's ready for anything and rugged styling to match, look no further than the Grabber X3 from General Tire. Make your anywhere possible by visiting GeneralTire.com today. General Tire, aggressive styling with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Hey, this is Jim Beaver, host of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting down and dirty on the racetrack is all fun and games until it's time to get the dirt off. I know it all too well, which is why I partnered with MotoShield Pro, the leaders in nanotechnology solutions on the racetrack and in off-road to combat mud and dirt buildup on my vehicles. MotoShield Pro keeps us from taking unnecessary damage and spending extra energy on cleaning. No matter the weather or the surface, having proper protection on all my vehicles saves me plenty of reprep time in a sport where every second counts. Prep your vehicle like a pro. Learn more at MotoShieldPro.com.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online in syndication on networks across the U.S. and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my brother Cameron Steele, who I finally get to introduce as a Baja 1000 four-wheel overall winner, to the line. Welcome, Cam.
Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for your support of the motorsports and off-road world.
Well, dude, I mean, we had you on, what was it, a couple of weeks ago? I mean, this is after your Tijuana win, and that was a big deal for you guys. I mean, it was that you got over the hump. You guys got you got that first, score win in Trophy Truck. But now, I mean, Baja, that was the one that's been on the sites forever. I mean, I know you had said even after last year you were frustrated and, you thought about hanging it up and retiring, and then you got so close last year. I mean, dude, I can't even imagine the emotions that are going on with you the past couple of days.
Yeah, it's been a little surreal, to be honest. Obviously, we're missing my dad a ton. He started this journey for our family 48 years ago, going to the Baja 1000 with Parnelli Jones, and then 47 years ago he sat on the start line for the first time in 71. And the Steele family has won the Baja 1000 in our class a number of times. Heidi, my dad, myself, my brother also, as a navigator. But we never had ascended to that top spot. I don't really feel like we had a team that could win. I mean, I felt like we could win maybe 8 years ago, but now I feel like it's really changed a lot. But it's just a great honor to do it for my dad and our family, but more importantly, maybe for the Desert Assassins, for everybody that's given so much to make it happen. I mean, it's truly a family and friends effort, and just unbelievable. I can't even tell you what it feels like. I really am having a hard time figuring out what the emotion or how it feels. It's crazy.
Well, in the 1000, I mean, we know it's a special race, but it's special in the fact that not a lot of times the best team wins. I mean, there's because when you're racing 1,000 miles, I mean, in this case it was like 800-ish. I guess it was 1,000 kilometers because it was the loop race. But there's so much that can happen, and it's there's a lot of luck that goes into play there as well. I mean, granted, you've got to be prepared. I mean, the driver is 100% a part of it, but I mean, there's so much that can happen in Baja, just that stuff that, that X factor that you have nothing to do with, and I mean, how did this race play out for you guys? Because nobody has a flawless Baja 1000. There's always something that could have, that happens that scares you, could have took you out of the race. I mean, how did this play out? Because you guys were right there in the hunt the entire day.
Well, to be honest with you, Jim, I'm a total believer in what you're saying, that Baja has to grant you access. Baja has to park the cactus, and I think you have to be, synonymous with what's going on, or in tune, so to speak. So I think it's up to Baja. Luck has some to do with it for sure. Our luck was not good to start with. We had a transmission failure at race mile 140. We lost first gear, and we didn't realize immediately, but within a half hour of talking to our tech, we realized that it was very likely we also did not have reverse if the tranny was still functioning in second and third gear. And that doesn't sound like a big deal, but, one mistake in those tight areas, one mistake in the silt beds, one mistake in the Ojos Mountains, from Europan, where you might have to back up, or, something that could be a 3-point turn. There was a couple really tight turns coming down at two different mountains that I can think of. No reverse. You blow a corner and you wedge up against a cactus, no reverse. So it started off early for us. We tried to just cruise, and losing first gear was not super traumatic, but it was definitely something that was on our mind. And geez, for the first 30 miles after, I wasn't sure that the whole tranny wasn't going to fail.
Yeah, well, that's crazy because I've lost second gear a lot of times and just had first and third. I've actually had that happen twice. I don't want to say a lot of times, but and you're going from first to third, and second is that that crucial gear you need, especially here. And it seems like when you're racing in the States, but down in Baja, I mean, like you mentioned, the silt beds and things like that. I mean, we're in trophy trucks. There's not a lot of times we're dropping down into first gear, but when you get into the silt beds and things like that, I mean, there's times where you could probably use that. I mean, as much as you don't want to take chances, like you really probably had to hit certain things like the silt beds maybe a bit harder than you normally would have, just because you knew you didn't have second or first gear, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, a higher final drive, so we were kind of counting on using first gear for some of that raceability and for some of that picking through the tight stuff. Pat Pat doesn't use first gear, he said, so he wasn't really worried about it. When he got in the truck, we confirmed there was no reverse. And kudos to Pat and Shane. I mean, they've done a great job for 5 years with us. Pat Dean's my driving partner. But even more crazy is that they went out there with no first, no reverse, and also we had deleted the entire DPS so they could reload their file, but for some reason they couldn't load their file, so they did their whole segment in all the sill with no notes at all, just from straight pre-running memory. And that's how good a pre-run those guys did. They ran a flawless section. We gave them the 6th position and brought it back to us as 3rd.
Wow, that's crazy with no notes, especially down in Baja in this day and age, man. That's like having photographic memory, man. That tells you they put in the work beforehand, because not a lot of guys could run at that speed without the notes, you know?
For sure, and I think a lot of that credit goes to Pat, but also Mike Kraft, the FIDAC pipeline construction guys. Kraft is our race engineer, and he engineered our pre-running plan, and it made it possible for Pat and I both to pre-run in real-life Geyser Brother trophy trucks, so that we would know what the trucks would do and how they would react. And so when we got in the truck on race day, we were super switched on. Pat was able to pre-run the last 2 times through his entire section in the former Bryce Bentley's trophy truck. So just really fortunate to have someone engineering and thinking about it outside of just myself or Cody, who are generally in the truck. Kraft really grabbed the reins and made a big impact on our team the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, talking about Pat Dean, it's funny because I had this conversation right before Baja, and we were talking about the entry list for trophy truck and things like that. And I said, I said, Pat Dean, he's one of those guys, you know, he's not out there on social media. He doesn't have, you know, 500,000 Instagram followers or anything like that. But anybody who knows. And I put Pat Dean up on a pedestal, man. This guy is one of the absolute best guys to ever touch a steering wheel in the desert. And I think because he's Pat and just the way he carries himself, and, you know, he's not that guy. He's not out there. He's not putting himself out there. But anybody like me or you or any other drivers in the field, I feel like we know and we recognize the talent there. I just feel like he flies under the radar a bit to everybody else, you know, that might not be in that inner circle of off-road. But, you know, just a veteran to have on your team, I mean, that's had to have been phenomenal with that he's brought to the program the past couple of years.
For sure. Pat brings a wealth of experience. You know, his dad got him into it, I believe, in mid-'80s, just like I started driving. And, you know, his dad has a huge legacy in off-road racing, you know, building and prepping cars for Herbs, for the Gons, for Collins, so many legendary drivers, for Rob McCachran, TJ Flores. Just the list goes on, and Pat was able to learn and experience from all of those guys, as well as his own experiences over the last, you know, really 4 decades is what we're talking about. You know, three plus decades of racing experience, and the guy really nailed it. And you know what else is cool is he's never nervous. He's never, you know, well, I shouldn't say never nervous, but for the most part, he's nailed. And you know, we all get a little nervous here or there, but Pat was ready, and man, he delivered for sure.
Well, you know, and talking about this big win, I mean, you guys obviously, you know, in the past couple of years that you and I have talked, you know, recently on just this swing your program has seen, and a lot of that, you know, you had mentioned was Kraft coming in and just changing the way you guys do things. But, you know, you finally got this big one. You got the Baja 1000 overall victory. You know, moving forward, I know you've been a real advocate about, you know, the big races in the sport, and you know, and your team is very much, you know, it's sponsor driven, and you know, and you've got some amazing partners. I mean, looking forward now that you've got this, I mean, is it still one of those like, hey, we want to concentrate on these big races, the Mint 400, you know, the Bajas, Vegas to Reno? I know obviously we've got that new big trophy truck invitational, or are you eyeing that score championship in 2019?
I think a little bit of both. I mean, right now it's sort of unknown because I actually made an effort to try to get our sponsors, you know, a little bit more organized before the end of October, but never really got it all done. So this next week we'll talk to the sponsors and see what they want to do. And more importantly, on Saturday I'm going to, you know, spend some time this weekend talking to my wife, Heidi, who obviously is a big-time racer, and find out what she thinks we should do. And as a family, we'll make a decision, then we'll, you know, talk to the team and then talk to the sponsors and see what is realistic. or what isn't. You know, it's been really tough for us being sponsor funded, not having, so to speak, a big bankroll to fall back on. So we really have to focus on what the next moves are and try to be efficient. I really would like to start our year with the King of the Hammers race, the Monster Energy ToyMakerz event. I think that's going to be a great event. Dave Cole really goes above and beyond. And yes, the Score Championship is definitely something that we're thinking about. The Baja 1000 is probably the thing we're focused on. But really, the one thing I would like to do before I quit racing is I would really like to win San Felipe. We've led that race quite a few times, and we've had great success there. But we've never stamped the overall win. And that race, more than anything, I think, is something that I would like to put down. You know, there's a lot of great drivers, a lot of great teams, but for some reason, we've always shined at that race. It would be a great one to nail for the program.
Yeah, and that San Felipe is the funny one because people see it and they see the mileage and go, you know, they go, oh, it's, you know, it's like a sprint race. Well, it is a sprint race, but you and I both know that is like the roughest course you could ever actually imagine racing on. It is so brutal. I mean, it may only be 250 miles. I mean, I know it's a little bit longer now. You know, Score's making a little bit longer run down there, but I mean, you and I both know that it's like racing your truck for 500 miles almost, just with the conditions down there.
For sure. I mean, it's brutal. It's such a rough race that you know, it's tough because you have to manage equipment, but it is still a sprint. For me, I really like the technical aspect of it, hitting all the lines and making sure everything's good and smooth. And it's just an honor to be able to race such a cool race, you know, and battle with your boys, because it truly is a full-on battle the whole way.
Yeah. Well, before we let you go, Cam, I know you know you're on your way somewhere, but I did want to mention, you know, you talked about sponsors and things like that. We mentioned, you know, Dave Cole's new race there at King of the Hammers, that invitational only, you know, with trophy trucks, you know. But I want to talk about real quick, you know, we only got a couple of minutes, but, you know, the business of off-road, because I know me and you and there's a few others that are very much sponsor-driven. I mean, I feel like our sport, you know, you look at NASCAR and they're hurting. They can't, you know, there's sponsors dropping like flies, but I feel like off-road right now we're pretty healthy. I mean, how do you feel about the sport in general, you know, especially guys like us who are hunting for marketing partners?
I think our sport's really healthy right now. I think, you know, race series like NASCAR or IndyCar, the budget is so crazy big that I think it's hard to maintain. Truthfully, you know, the off-road racing budget is crazy, but it's not anything like that. So I think that the sponsors can get a lot of bang for their buck. But I also think that it's there's a lot of fan engagement and great social media. But the big news coming out this last week, I don't know if you heard it, but the entire Score Series is going to be on ABC, partnered up with World of X Games, where our Trail of Missions and Rip Cabo event trips are. And that's a huge boost for off-road racing. Being on network TV on a weekend, there's very little that would compare to that. So I think overall our sport's really healthy. There's a lot of great aftermarket involved, a lot of great energy drink involvement, and the tire companies are all there. I think it's really strong, and I think it's also cool, and part of the reason why there's so much success with sponsors is there's no like official anything like that keeps anybody away. So everybody comes to play, you know, it's open. So I think that's great for all sponsors to come in and be able to do that.
And we'll be back with more with Cameron Steele after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than join Polaris in their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Whether you're looking for a tire that balances high-performance responsiveness and traction in wet and light snow conditions, excellent handling and traction in wet and dry conditions, or a summer performance tire designed with the driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has you covered. From the all-new G-Max RS to the Grabber ATX, no matter what you drive, General Tire will get you where you're going. Learn more at GeneralTire.com. General Tire, cruising with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here with my good friend Cameron Steele, your 2018 Baja 1000 overall winner, on the line. Now, Cameron, you know, we gotta go back and touch on something you talked about a minute ago, and it's this big announcement that Score will be ABC World of X Games. Now, this is massive. This is probably, I'm thinking back to the start of Trophy Truck, early 90s, 92, when Sal created Trophy Truck, and they were primetime ESPN. I mean, this has got to be probably even bigger than that, but this has got to be one of the most substantial TV packages we've had in a long, long time for the sport. And for a guy like you and I who sell sponsorship, this is huge.
For sure. I mean, hard to compare anything with that. So that's massive, and super stoked for Joe. For Bud Rutzman and the PCII guys, and Roger Norman, and everybody involved. I think that's just a great step up, a great boost for the overall, footprint of our sport. But, just back to talking about the Baja 1000, I just want to say thank you to all the people of Baja, everybody that goes down, whether they race or spectate or media or live there and enjoy it. It's just, what a great explosion of personalities, food, vistas, just the whole thing is just unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, Cam, we are up against a hard break here, my friend, but congratulations on the win. It's always fun to catch up, buddy. I know, we'll probably see you, I'm sure, this offseason at some point, my friend, but congratulations once again to you and the entire team. I know how much you guys put into it, and I feel like you're one of those guys, when you get a win, I feel like the rest of us feel like we get a win as well, man, and so tip of the cap to you guys and the whole program.
I appreciate it. It's been a great vibe, and much respect to the guys on the podium, to Andy and Tavo, and obviously Rob McCachran, a great racer, and a great race that he drove, and same with Ricky Johnson and the Team C guys, and Luke and Larry. I mean, just big respect to everybody. Much love, and thank you. God bless.
All right, thanks a lot, brother. And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want to extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online in syndication on networks across the U.S. and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
All right, and we are back here with hour number 2 on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. That is right, just getting done with hour number 1, Cameron Steele, and a lot of Baja talk. So hopefully you guys like off-road racing. I know I had a ton of fun doing it. So kicking off hour number 2, I got a lot to talk about. Made a trip out to Beverly Hills recently, last week. I'll give you guys a little tidbit or a little news on what happened out there. Also, man, gosh, we got so much to talk about today. NASCAR wrapped up. Chris Leone's calling in. We're going to talk a bit of Baja, probably a little bit of NASCAR, and who knows what the heck else we are going to talk about in that segment. And then we have... Wow. When was the last time I actually coughed into the mic live on air? Man, it's been a long time. I think that might be a first in maybe 6-7 years since I've been doing this. Wow. Never coughed into the mic. My apologies. I did, and this is no joke, doing live TV for Lucas at Crandon. I was calling the race, and I had a bug fly into my mouth. So I got choked up, and I don't know if you guys caught it, but I choked on a bug, and we have these cough switches there. You know what I mean? When you're going to cough, you hit that button real quick, and it mutes your mic. Couldn't get to it quick enough. Didn't see it coming. Boom, bug in the mouth. I was choked up. I slapped the thing. Everybody in the booth is cracking up. They saw what happened. Grossest thing ever. So anyways, yeah, I lost my train of thought. You know how that goes. I cough into the mic, and then we go on a 2-minute segment on coughing on air or something. I don't know. I'm losing it. Can you guys? I need this Thanksgiving weekend, right? I need to go out and just clear my head in some razors, guaranteed. Anyways, David Ankin with ToyMakerz. He's going to be up in this hour as well. If you got any questions for any of our guests, me, Chris, anybody, anything you want answered, hit me up at JimBeaver15. I'm currently monitoring the Twitter feed right now, and right now something about some girl named Bailey Madison in Tiger Beat Magazine. Oh, I got retweeted from Podcast One. I'm like, how did Tiger Beat Magazine show up in my Twitter feed? Like, that is not one that happens very often. I can honestly tell you, I have never opened a Tiger Beat magazine in my life, and I'm not a 13-year-old little girl. But yeah, so Podcast One retweeted it. Bailey Madison, whoever you are, I guess you're killing it because you got a retweet from Podcast One. Anyways, we're going to take a short break and no more talk about Tiger Beat magazine. I can promise you that. Anyways, we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
All right, and we are back here in hour number 2, kicking things off. I don't know, I guess I'll tell you guys a little bit about what's been going on in my world the past couple of weeks. Anyways, well, I guess this might determine my 2019. I don't know. I got so much stuff in the pipeline right now, and I wish I could tell you guys all about it, but I just can't. But the big news is, I don't know, was out at Podcast One here last week, did a couple interviews, one on my buddy Spike Ferriston's show. If you guys subscribe on iTunes, which you should to this, if you're not, go over to iTunes right now, hit that subscribe button. But anyways, yes, so... Spike Ferriston, you guys know him. He was a writer for Seinfeld. He's done some stuff with The Simpsons, Saturday Night Live, comedian, car guy. He's just a rad dude. Anyways, I did his show there at Podcast One, Spike's Car Radio. It's right at the tip top of the iTunes charts, right up here with this, and Smoking Tire, and whatever the hell Car Talk with NPR is, I think. Anyways, there's a few of us that are always there at the top. CarCast with Adam Carolla and Matt D'Andrea and Goldberg. So anyways, did that podcast. It was fun. We talked all about all kinds of stuff. We got on the topic of G-Wagons. Now, depending on who you are listening to this, if you're an off-road person, I don't know. Anyways, G-Wagon, it's Mercedes SUV, right? But it's like legit off-road capable vehicle. These things are like a little over $100,000 brand new. They've got this new one out called... the G-Wagon 4x4 Squared. And this thing is insane, but it's like $250,000 for this off-road SUV. But these things are ridiculously capable. Anyways, G-Wagons have been around for a long time. You can buy the used ones for like $20,000-$25,000 that are like 10 years old. I have fallen in love with the G-Wagon of all things. Yes, I'm not a Mercedes fan, have never been a Mercedes fan. There's something about this damn G-Wagon that I think that I need to have. So my thought is I need to get a G-Wagon and I need to build it for trade show season next year. Make it like this rad desert-capable chase rig media vehicle. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with it, but I think I need a G-Wagon. So if you're listening to this, hit me up in Twitter, in Instagram, whatever. But I need some ideas for this G-Wagon. It's going to be a desert build, though. It's not going to be like an Overlander. Literally, it's not going to be one of those fancy, like street whatever G-Wagons. This thing's going to be capable, man. We're going to take this thing in the dirt. I don't care if it's a Mercedes. We're going to scratch it up, ding it, bang it, whatever. This is going to be a legit off-road vehicle. Anyways, I'm going to get one, and I think I'm going to do it for trade show season or something. We'll do something interesting, make it to tow like a Razor, whatever. But anyways, I think I need a G-Wagon. So, yes, that is what came out of the Spike Fairstein interview. Not only that, we talked a lot about Baja, and I did some foreshadowing, and things I said actually happened at Baja. So I believe that interview drops next week. You don't want to miss out on Spike's Car Radio. And then I also spent some time with Natalie Ava Marie and Jonathan Coyle, a couple of my friends who, Natalie Ava Marie, All Red Everything, WWE. She was on Total Divas, and her husband, Jonathan. Anyways, did an amazing interview on that podcast. We talked about kind of my life and brand building, entrepreneurship. It was a ton of fun, man. We ran out of time, actually. I think with that one, you're going to get to see a side of me that you don't ever get to see. So, that one, I believe, drops next week as well. So, just keeping you guys in the loop. Both of them will be worth tuning into when they drop. But, so I was out in Beverly Hills, and I got to tell you, for a small-town kid going to Beverly Hills, this is like it's a different world for me, man. I mean, I had 5 hours in the middle of the day to kill, so I went down to Rodeo Drive and just kind of goofed off, had lunch, whatever. Like, everything down there is so expensive. It's so different. Ferraris sitting there parked on the curb and Rolls Royces, and, like, it's just crazy. Like, I can't even comprehend, like, walking around in these stores, like, I can't even afford to walk in them. Like, seriously, I can't even afford to walk in these stores, right? It's just madness how much money floats around that area. But, yes, it was a ton of fun out there in Beverly Hills. But it got me talking about content for next year and how things are going to look for the Down and Dirty Radio Show and Project Action. Obviously, Project Action is going to be back. That is no problem at all. Down and Dirty Radio Show, though, we're talking about what this show is going to look like next year, and this is where I want your input, man. What do you guys want to hear out of this? We're talking about maybe doing 2 1-hour shows every week. So I don't know. It could possibly be 2 1-hour shows, less commercials, all kill or no filler type of thing. We drop like on Tuesday and Wednesday back to back. And then Project Action would come Thursday. So you would have like literally the middle of your week would be covered. Right. So I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but I would love to have your guys' feedback, what you want me to cover, if you like that idea, the format, all that good stuff. Hit me up. Use the Facebook group. Hit me up on Twitter. DM me. Whatever, man. I just want to hear you guys' feedback. But, I think some changes are definitely coming. Still to be determined whether we're going to be a national syndication or not next year. So I hope we are, but I don't know. We may just be online only at this point. Still got a lot to work through, but I just want to put it out there. If you guys do want to continue to get this content, 100%, if you're listening in national syndication, make sure head over to iTunes, hit the subscribe button, and that way you're safe. You will always get this content. Also down on dirtyshow.com as well. So, that's going on, figuring out what the heck we are doing with this show next year. And it'll be back. I mean, what do you like? 362 episodes in, I think, at this point, something like that. So it's not going anywhere. I can promise you guys that. But I do, obviously that all happened. They're actually getting ready for Christmas out there in Beverly Hills. It's pretty rad. So, got a lot to cover. It got me thinking, you know what I mean? Because we haven't even talked about Christmas, the holidays coming up. Maybe we'll do some holiday-themed stuff. We'll have some fun with it. But we got Black Friday coming up, and I'm not a massive Black Friday fan, but you can get some really good deals on a lot of things. And our friends at Dirtfish, they've been a big partner in the show almost since day one. So Black Friday, Cyber Monday coming to Dirtfish. Biggest sale of the year, 25% off of everything, excluding private training. So we're talking classes, we're talking hoodies, hats, you name it, Dirtfish has it, and their apparel line at Dirtfish is on point. Let me tell you, it is great. So 25% off everything at Dirtfish, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So to get in on this, it starts at midnight on Friday morning. So Thursday night, get stuffed with turkey, get all that good stuff in your belly, and then you got to stay up late, though, getting on the Dirtfish stuff. Actually, it's going to last all weekend, so you don't have to stay up till midnight and try and snag some deal that's going to go away or something. But it starts at midnight on Friday morning, and it runs until midnight on Monday night. So 11:59 on p.m. on Monday, it ends, and 12:01 a.m. on Friday it begins. So you guys got plenty of time over the weekend. Go to Dirtfish, get some sweatshirts, hoodies, shirts, hats. Their gear is awesome. Their socks are insane. I do have to give a shout out to the Dirtfish socks. Yes, socks. They have some amazing ones. But yeah, classes, 25% off. You're talking a 3-4 day. We're talking like 4-figure savings on classes, right? That could be over $1,000. That's huge. So if you've ever, and I get a lot of you hit me up about going to Dirtfish, get in on this now. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. That's for sure. It is, I don't know. I call it my home away from home. It never disappoints anytime I'm at Dirtfish Rally School. That's for sure. So, yes, Dirtfish is running their Black Friday sale, 25% off everything. So hit them up on Friday morning all the way through Cyber Monday and get in on those deals. So we are going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And when we come back, we're going to get back to talking some motorsports. My man, Chris Leone, he's going to call in. I don't know. We've also got Snowcross coming up. That kicks off this weekend as well. So I don't know if we're going to talk about that. We got the NASCAR finale. We got Baja. We got a bunch to talk about. So anyways, he's been killing it on the content side for us and UTV Underground and a bunch of rally websites. So I don't know. We'll find out what's new with Chris Leone when we return here to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more. Anywhere is possible. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire's wide variety of tires for whatever it is that you drive. Whether you're looking for off-road capability balanced with impressive on-road performance or ultra-high performance offering all-season traction designed with a driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has what you need to get where you're going. General Tire, providing anywhere is possible with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012. Hey, this is Jim Beaver, host of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting down and dirty on the racetrack is all fun and games until it's time to get the dirt off. I know it all too well, which is why I partnered with MotoShield Pro, the leaders in nanotechnology solutions on the racetrack and in off-road to combat mud and dirt buildup on my vehicles. MotoShield Pro keeps us from taking unnecessary damage and spending extra energy on cleaning. No matter the weather or the surface, having proper protection on all my vehicles saves me plenty of reprep time in a sport where every second counts. Prep your vehicle like a pro. Learn more at MotoShieldPro.com.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
All right, welcome back here to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Got Chris Leone calling in here just a second, and then we've got David Ankin with the TV show ToyMakerz, I believe on Velocity. He's going to be here to finalize, or I guess cap off hour number 2. But welcome my media manager, Chris Leone, to the line, who I guess today is technologically challenged, which... Chris, when you handle my website and you handle social media and you handle pretty much everything digital, you're like the last guy that it makes me kind of scared that you're technologically challenged.
You know, Jim, this has been a running joke with my friends for years. I think you've seen how many keyboards I've gone through in my life. Nobody can make a durable enough product for me. This is to every technological company out there, whether it's websites, you know, whether it's hardware or software, you all need to call me and you all need to write me a fat check to do QA testing, because I can find a way to break anything. Yeah. Facebook's been struggling today. Instagram's been struggling today. I can't get my printer to work. It's, you know, this for me is a typical Tuesday, and I've got lifelong friends who will point out that this happens every single week with me, but man, it has been a rough morning.
Well, and it's funny too, because just for the listeners to know, like, Chris is the guy, he'll have a brand new like Apple MacBook, and then he'll have like an external keyboard because he's already broke the keyboard on the MacBook or something like that. It's crazy. You know what I want to see out of you though? Like, you've gone through enough keyboards, but I've never seen you get violent with one. I want to see. Remember Bo Jackson? Like those videos of Bo when he'd break the bat over his knee. Like, he was so legit. Like, he'd just take the bat, pissed off that he struck out, and he'd snap a bat over his knee. I want to see you do a Bo Jackson, but I want to see you do it with a keyboard. Like, but you got to video it. Like, I want to see you just get pissed off and snap a keyboard over your knee.
You know, when I was writing more music in college and everything, I actually had a song that I was writing that was just about tech failures, and it was just going to be the concept of the printer scene in Office Space, just taking to the nth degree for a music video. It's someday I've got to do it. It'd be really cool. But the old running joke at my old apartment, because I lived on the 4th floor, was that I was going to take the printer that was no longer working and just throw it out the 4th floor window into a dumpster just to see how big of a noise we could make with it. We never got around to that. Probably to the benefit of the neighborhood, but yeah, I'm just going to have to find a field somewhere and bring all of this old tech stuff to its deserved end, as far as I'm concerned. We got to make stuff better, man. We can't keep charging more and getting less out of it. Every iPhone I go through has a shorter lifespan. Every MacBook. The computer I'm working on right now, the hard drive fried before 6 months, and I had barely used it. I used that computer for one thing when the hard drive fried, and that was to watch Monday Night Football in my bedroom because I didn't have a cable hookup to the TV. It's ridiculous, but we could lose an entire show to me talking tech. We should probably go to racing for the benefit of the listeners, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe we'll switch gears here. I guess we'll have a tech podcast we'll be doing next, talking about tech failures. Actually, that would probably make an entertaining podcast. But anyways, yeah.
It would.
So we got to talk some racing here. I don't know. I completely lost my train of thought on what we were going to talk about. I know a big one was Baja happened. I've pretty much talked on that for an hour and a half at this point. You know, I know you were following along there. I didn't get to watch much of the NASCAR finale. We don't talk a lot about that on this show, but I do know Joey Logano's got a contract with Polaris, so there's my logical tie-in with this, so I can say I'm doing right by Polaris, talking about Joey Logano. I don't know how that works. But anyways, you know, I got to be honest with you. I was pulling for Harvick and Truex. But, I mean, kind of talk us through this NASCAR finale, because obviously Joey Logano won. I mean, what's your takeaway? Well, pretty much from the whole NASCAR season, Chris.
Well, Jim, I mean, the biggest takeaway is that we've now got a playoff format in NASCAR where, you know, you do what you have to win any individual race. And on the one hand, I mean, that's fantastic. You know, it's great that we have drivers who are willing to do whatever it takes to win in the final rounds of the season instead of points racing, because, you know, points racing can get pretty boring if somebody's just kind of playing it safe and just ripping off fifth-place finish after fifth-place finish and kind of coasting to the championship. And, you don't have that in NASCAR anymore, but I know it's been, 15 years now, and I know it's not going anywhere, but I still don't understand the need for playoffs in motorsport. I get it in stick and ball sports. I mean, not everybody has the opportunity to play everybody all at once. Not everybody has the opportunity to play everybody the same amount of times. But when you've got all the same vehicles head-to-head on the racetrack, every single event, I don't understand the need for a playoff system. I've gone back and forth on this a number of times. Sometimes, I see the merits, and obviously it's exciting when you have a winner-take-all finale, but, people don't like manufactured drama very much. That's kind of always been my biggest takeaway. I'm stoked for Joey. It's awesome to see somebody who has kind of had that pressure on his shoulders for a very long time actually be able to go out and deliver and win a championship, because, 10 years ago, Joey Logano, they gave him the nickname Sliced Bread because he was supposed to be the best thing since, and there's all this pressure on him, and he didn't really win all that much with Joe Gibbs Racing. I was actually at his first win, and it was a rain-shortened race at New Hampshire. I think they made a good pit call, and that was how he was able to get that win. He kind of found new life when he got let go from Gibbs and went over to Penske. And, it's been great to see him be able to actually capitalize on that, because that's a lot of pressure for a young athlete to come into the sport in their teens and early 20s and be looked at as supposed to be the next big thing. And, for every Michael Jordan, there's a Sam Bowie, right? There's always that one guy who had the hype, whether it was an early draft pick in other sports or whether it's, in NASCAR, obviously, it's an early driver development program, and in any form of racing, it's kind of that way. But, it's just great to see somebody who's put in the work like that be able to get that, able to get that championship for the first time.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, I remember him. He was kind of like NASCAR's face of the millennial generation, because he didn't he have like a GameStop sponsorship at one point? Like, he was the young guy. He was like the young it kid, you know what I mean? Like, he was really, really young, and I think he had a GameStop deal, and he was like, in the GameStop commercials, and they were trying to bridge that gap, and like, he was supposed to be the new face of NASCAR. He was, like you said, there was a lot of pressure on Joey. He was thrust into that position, and like, I just remember, I mean, here's this young kid, like 18, 19, and he's like in these TV commercials, and I mean, it had to have been a bit surreal for him,
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I said, it happens in so many different racing series. You get this kid who's this once in a generation talent that gets discovered when he's a teenager, and then suddenly, you've got the weight of the world thrust on your shoulders, and it doesn't matter, whether you're racing for an IndyCar team when you make it to the top, or if you're in Supercross or off-road or anything. I mean, we see this story again and again and again. And so many of those kids, the pressure that's put on them is so far beyond what most humans can handle. And, something breaks. Something eventually snaps, and, maybe it's a bad wreck and they're never quite the same. The killer instinct isn't there after that, or maybe the equipment just wasn't good and they start losing confidence, or whatever it is. But, a lot of guys just kind of get picked up and, thrown to the wayside after they don't deliver on the hype right away. And I know that's just kind of the nature of professional sports in any aspect, but, it's always good to see those couple of guys who are able to persevere through that. And Joey doing what he's done with Team Penske, kind of getting a second chance there when he was signed to that team and making the most of it. And especially after last year where he missed those playoffs entirely, it's always great to see something like that. It's great to see a driver be able to capitalize on their opportunities like that, especially with, a team owner like Roger Penske, who's won just about everything under the sun, and the standards are just so high to be part of a team like that.
Yeah, well, and go back to the NASCAR, the playoff thing. Obviously, it made it entertaining. The top four guys finished 1, 2, 3, 4 in the finale. It's been entertaining one way or another. This playoffs. I feel like there's been twice where Truex has got a raw deal, but we look at IndyCar, and IndyCar doesn't have playoffs, and their series is going down to the wire every year. It's one of the closest championships, and it's not manufactured. It's just because the racing on track is so good that it's going down to the wire. You saw NHRA where it didn't really matter. Some of them went down to the wire, but then you've got a guy like Steve Torrance who just destroyed everybody and said, we're just taking the playoffs out of the picture. I'm the man. And then, do you think NASCAR, we're going to see yet another tweak to this format, or do you think they're going to roll with it for the next year or so?
I think they're going to continue to roll with it. I think the bigger question right now is who owns NASCAR in 2020, because now that they've made the bid to purchase ISC, which owns half of the racetracks, and is another organization that is majority owned by the France family. I mean, we've heard comments out of Liberty Media that they might be interested in purchasing that. Liberty Media obviously already owns F1. It's tough. I mean, everybody can see what's going on. It's like we've said on this show many times. There's still the 1,000-pound gorilla in the room where they've got the biggest TV numbers, the biggest TV deal. They've got the biggest sponsorships. But, the past couple of years, what they've been charging versus what they used to charge has been pennies on the dollar. And just the entire landscape financially has shifted because of that. I mean, you've seen car counts go down, and they've adjusted the size of the field in response to that. I'm not willing yet to call it a death spiral. I think that's overblown. I think there are issues, and I think that maybe the steps being taken to correct them aren't the right ones. I know there's been a lot made of the formula for 2019, which just kind of seems like drivers will be able to floor it the entire lap, and I don't think that's what we want. I mean, that doesn't really challenge drivers. I mean, I could go out and do that,
for sure. Well,
and
Chris,
I think a lot of people would say the same.
Yeah. Well, we're up against a break, buddy, but I appreciate you taking the time to call in, but we got to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. We'll be back after this.
Mm-hmm.
Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or @VisionWheel on social media to learn more. Hey, this is Jim Beaver, host of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting down and dirty on the racetrack is all fun and games until it's time to get the dirt off. I know it all too well, which is why I partnered with MotoShield Pro, the leaders in nanotechnology solutions on the racetrack and in off-road to combat mud and dirt buildup on my vehicles. MotoShield Pro keeps us from taking unnecessary damage and spending extra energy on cleaning. No matter the weather or the surface, having proper protection on all my vehicles saves me plenty of reprep time in a sport where every second counts. Prep your vehicle like a pro. Learn more at MotoShieldPro.com.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my next guest, David from ToyMakerz, to the line. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about. How's everything going, man, in Toyland, I guess?
You know what? Thanks for having me, first off. But, things are fantastic. I absolutely love it. Humbled and busy. Busy. It's like, don't know how to stop, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, and I noticed I was out there. We didn't run into each other, but SEMA show just wrapped up a week or two back. I saw you were out there, and you want to talk about toys, man. SEMA's where it's at. Was there anything that caught your eye at SEMA that was just like, wow, man, that kind of blows me away?
SEMA is exactly that. Everywhere you look, it's amazing. And for me, it's all amazing. The talent that's out there, the cars you see, the time put into it. I just like to see that many people get together that share the same passion, the same wants, the same needs is amazing for me. So any one thing, absolutely not. It's all amazing.
Yeah.
But for me, it's the one time a year I really enjoy because you see so much. We really do.
Well, that's the thing about SEMA. I think you can be there all week, and there's still something you're going to miss. There's so
no
big.
Question.
It's so big. It's maddening how big and how big that show has gotten.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Yeah. Well, going back to things, I know you have been busy. I know you guys got a new season of ToyMakerz going to drop, I believe, in February. So you guys have probably been
yes, sir.
been pretty busy at the shop filming and things like that. I mean, what's going on? Are you guys still filming, or are you guys is filming wrapped up now?
No, we filmed for about 5 straight months. I think filming wraps for me like the 3rd of January for principal filming, and then the middle of January will be all the pickups. So I'm right dead in the middle of it. I mean, like I said, all day today I've been working really hard. We film 6 days a week, and the 7th day is everything I don't want to see on camera. So I work harder on the 7th day off. So right now we filmed all morning and then loaded up, and I'm driving 5 hours to a racetrack because I got to film at a racetrack tomorrow. So big grudge race tomorrow with a big group of guys that sort of called me out. We became friends with them, so we built a car to go out and do a little grudge race.
Yeah. Well, and talking about that, I mean, your background, obviously, you've done a lot of stunt work and things like that and been in shows. I mean, I guess first off, how was the gateway into the stunt world? We'll talk about your gateway into ToyMakerz and what you're doing now, but I mean, how did this whole whirlwind of you actually happen? I mean, tell us about this journey that you're on.
As a kid, you're just a kid that likes to play. So, the theme parks were really big for me. It was an avenue. It's a long story how it actually happened. But in the big scheme of things, there was an opening at a theme park, and it just made sense. A summer going to play Batman was awesome. I got to go play Batman, and that opened up, all kind of the cowboy shows and the different shows. And get a taste of being in front of an audience, 5-6 times a day. Driving and playing and sliding, get blown up, thrown off buildings, beat up, depending what show you're doing. And it it's something you enjoyed. It's stuff that we do every day anyway. Slide around in their bikes or cars and play. And now they're paying you to go out and just do it in front of people. I mean, it was, I happened to play Batman, which was even better. I get to walk around and say, hey, I'm David, I'm Batman. It's like, it was just cool, Yeah. So it's a lot of fun for me as a kid.
Yeah, every day was Halloween, right?
It really was, and honestly, it still is today. I enjoy life, so.
Yeah. Well, and how did things, how things move along? Because I know, there's a story about, your dad and how he, you'd fix just about anything, build anything, and how was that your gateway into, creating these crazy toys and, and things that we see now?
My dad was that guy. Growing up, he always had something he was building, playing with, or doing. So he raced just about everything as well, from hill climb bikes to the drag racing. I mean, he's done it all. So for me, I just grew up with it. And then when I got into the stunt business, you had to be able to. The stunt coordinator would tell you the stunt he wanted you to do, and then he'd give you a machine to do it on, but he couldn't do the trick. So, I had to spend nighttime sometimes figuring out how to make that vehicle do that trick or survive it or do it over and over again. So I just love that part of it. And then, honestly, to build your poster on the wall, everybody wants that, the Farrah Fawcett girl with a Lamborghini, so you had to find a way to get that girl and have that car. So that turned into me, wanting to build my own toys so I could have I couldn't go spend $1 million on a car. I had to learn to build $1 million car. So.
Yeah. Well, and talking about ToyMakerz now, I mean, which kind of segued into that. I mean, I got a question here. I mean, your guys' builds, they're all over the place. I mean, how do these things come up? I mean, do you have like an idea? How do these ideas get, put together? Because you've got everything from drift trikes to dragsters to, I don't know. There's a million things in between we can talk about. But how do these ideas? I mean, how do these ideas get hatched?
Everybody I know falls into a niche. I've got painters I use. I got builders I'm friends with. They all fall into a niche. I can tell you who paints what machine by looking at the paint job. So it's same thing with when you come to my world. These guys deal with Dodges. These guys deal with diesels. These guys. I'm not that guy. Every year I build something and figure out. Like right now I'm in big trouble. My 2 season finale cars this year are so crazy. There's no way I can top it next year. There's no way. I've said that 4 years in a row. Okay? So you can't be, and listen, the name ToyMakerz is important. I'm not prejudiced. I don't care if it's a shopping cart. I don't care if it's a go-kart, a mini bike, a motorcycle, a truck, a door slammer, a drive car. I like toys. So, driving everything. So, for me to be way outside the box every year is what I have to do. Next year, and that's a hard chore every year. But that makes me get completely different than I did the year before. If I'm doing something that goes straight this year, I'll do something that goes around corners next year, or that flies, or that goes underwater or on water. Who knows where my head's going to go? But I promise you, I'm going to go there.
Yeah, you're so far down the rabbit hole now, you just got to keep digging deeper, right?
Yeah, that's all it is. This is look, you don't have to like it. You got to appreciate it, but I didn't do it for anybody else. I do it. I got a team of guys that are misfits. We all think the same way. And you're right, it's a rabbit hole. So who cares? It isn't for anybody else. It's for us. And we do the OEM stuff. Don't get me wrong. I like the Camaros, Mustangs. I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
That pays the bills in the shop. But when it comes to getting going off the deep end, we're going there this year. I promise you. It just puts me in trouble for next year.
Yeah. So here's a question. And I know you're a bike guy, you're a car guy. You're like you said, you like toys. I mean, if you were just for you, if you were going to go, hey, like unlimited budget, I'm going to build a car just for me. I mean, what's the platform going to be?
I do it every year. Every single year, I do that exact statement, and I do it. The first time I really decided to do that was my little 3/4 scale GP car for the street. I wanted a 200 mile an hour, 24-hour Le Mans car for the street. That's what I built.
Yep.
Then I decided, dude, I really want a top-notch bike. I mean, something that just is insane. So I built it. Then I want a truck, an old-school 40 Ford truck that's way ridiculous. So you get a cup motor out of a NASCAR and you put it in a truck and you make it lean and super. So I did that. Then you go, okay, well, I'm going to do a one-off mid-engine car that nobody's ever seen from a napkin. So you draw it on a napkin and you build the car. This year, I want to do a drift car, but everybody does basically the same stuff.
Yeah.
So we're taking a 41 Willys coupe, which is truly an iconic hot rod. I mean, it's one of my favorites. It's got to be a gas or a pro touring car. I'm going to do a drift car out of it, a full-blown exhibition, except instead of doing 10-inch tires like everybody else's drift cars, I'm going to run 44 inches of tires on it. I mean, the whole thing's insane. Or my season finale car, I'm doing a true front-engine digger, like a dragster, old 60s and 70s style digger, with 2 seats on the street, fully streetable, with 2,000-3,000 horsepower, in a 2,000-pound front-engine car. I mean, it's going to be the most. Now, some of these shows that they say they're street cars and trailer them to the track, I'm going to prove it on film. I'm going to drive it to the track. I'm going to cut a number, and I'm going to drive it home with my cup holders and my windshield wiper and glove box. And, it's just being way outside the box.
Well, and this has got to be, I mean, the full-on dream job, right? I mean, most people, they've got this hobby on the side where it's like, oh, I'd love to build this car. I'd love to build this crazy contraption, and it takes them a couple of years working weekends and things like that to get the budget. Here you are, you're making a living creating, these amazing cars that you hatch these ideas in your head, and then, the next week you guys are working on them. I mean, this has got to be like the ultimate dream for you, right?
It is, and people think that way. But let me tell you something. It comes with a load of headaches at the same time. I mean, it's probably the hardest thing I've ever done, but probably the most rewarding. So there are a bunch of headaches. Building the cars is the fun, easy part.
Yeah.
The television show, the dealing with production crew, the editing departments, the networks, the 60 or 70 brands I deal with, constant. If I was just doing that, it would be a home run. But in saying that comes with a whole bunch of other things that we do. And I love what I do. It's absolutely a dream come true. I'm the most humbled and blessed person I know at this point, trying to bring everybody I know along with me. But let me tell you something. It's the hardest thing I've ever done because I wasn't smart enough to say, hey, I want to do this for a living. I added a bunch of other stuff that I could have left on the sideline. It's not really, but you know what I mean. It's it's crazy. It's a crazy time. I mean, I'm going to be driving till 8:00 tonight, and then by the time we're done, it'll be 11, 12 o'clock. By the time we're done, I got to be up and gone by 6 to get filming by 8. It's a crazy life. I love it, but it's a crazy life. Building the cars is the easy part.
Yeah, well, and you've got, like you said, the added pressure. Now you've got to continue to one-up yourself, right? One, what you've done so far, you got to keep people happy. They want to know what's next. You want to know what's next. I mean, it's there's probably a lot of pressure on you.
And I'm my worst critic. I can always I'm beating myself up really bad right now to know what I'm going to do for next year, and I think I have it in my head, but I got to build it in my head before I start building.
Yeah. So well, before we let you go, give us the details on the next season. I know you got a couple of seasons in the books right now, but when can fans expect to see these crazy creations that you've got coming out?
Yeah, February 10th. We'll be on the History Channel and FYI. Of course, we'll be on all the digital platforms as well. Right now, we're on Amazon and iTunes, and I think all the other platforms are. We're in a bunch of different countries. Of course, YouTube's got all kinds of stuff all over it. Don't forget our app, though. Our app's important. We have an app. It's a free download. You go get the app, and it always has a bunch of that stuff. And this year, what we've done a little bit different is we've taken a lot of fans. We asked the fans to download their car. I want to see their car. And every week every week I'm picking a new fan's car that I like. This year we actually have a few of them fans in our show. It's really a great.
Nice.
This race tomorrow is against a fan that last year submitted his car.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, I mean, and you know, what a great way for us just to give back and include these guys that might want to be a part of our world. You know, I just love the industry. I want to grow the industry, and it's how we're doing it. Download the app, submit your car, and it's a great way to get involved with us.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the time, David. I'm looking forward to the new season. You have some fun, my friend, and we'll definitely talk soon.
Man, thank you so much, sir, and have a great holiday season.
All right, you too. And we'll be back to wrap things up here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, wrapping up another edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, number 362, episode 362, in the books. Big thanks to Chris Leone for calling in. Obviously, David Ankin, Cameron Steele, and a big shout out to Cameron on that big, massive victory in Baja at the 1000, the overall four-wheel vehicle winner. There's only a few guys that this ever happened to multiple times. So, definitely, celebrate the first, Cameron, because may not come around again, my friend. But thank you to him. Don't forget, Dirtfish has that big Black Friday sale starting on Friday at 12:01 a.m. runs through Monday night, 11:59. 25% off everything at Dirtfish except for privates. So you definitely want to go and get in on that. And don't forget, check out our friends at GoParts.com. It's go-parts.com/Jim Beaver, and you're going to get a discount if you use that direct URL. No other way to get the discount. GoParts.com/Jim Beaver. Use that, then you get that discount. Big thanks to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru Vision Wheel, Casey Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish Optimus, Moto Shield Pro, GoParts.com, Blue Water Resort and Casino. Give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on social media, and make sure and subscribe to both the Down and Dirty Radio Show and Project Action over there on iTunes. Don't have to give out the Dirtfish coupon code this week, JB Dirtfish, for 15% off, because Black Friday you get 25% off. We got I'm heading out to the desert. We got Glamis season opening up. We do have Snowcross this weekend. They'll be live streaming on the internet. Check that out, Amsoil Championship Snowcross. And then we've roll into a few more trade shows in the start of 2019. So lots of fun. We will be airing for most of the rest of this year. Probably take a week or two off of the Down and Dirty Radio Show at Christmas. But looking forward to the rest of the year. You guys have a great holiday weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Be safe. As always, game on.